Hey folks, today we're going to be looking at my personal best for Torghast Speedrunning. This is Resto Druid and this is layer 8 in the upper reaches. What you may have noticed is that I'm not actually wearing any flasks or food or oils and stuff like that, and the enchants as well, not that you can see them, are healing enchants rather than DPS enchants. So this run has got a lot more that it can improve upon. What it can't improve upon much though is the first choice of power. The circlet of weeds, considering we're feral affinity, we're looking at having 4 dots here on the enemies, so that's a really good one to go for. The first wing, first floor, is really quick. This is one of the reasons why Upper Reaches is so great. And you may also notice here that Heart of the Wild is actually still on cooldown. I thought it would reset upon entering floor 1. But that's not true, so that cost me a bit of time here because Heart of the Wild by now probably would have resulted in the boss dying. So that's going to cost me, what, like 4 or 5 seconds? Even longer than that, actually, looking at it now. So that's one of the many, many ways that this run could still improve. One thing that I have picked up on, though, is doing this. Rather than select your power, we can just go through the portal to the next floor and just pick your power while you're on that floor. It just saves a lot of time and just gives you that chance to pick which one you're going for. Because often I would spend a lot of time debating about which power, and this way you can do that while you just can't do anything else. So second floor, pretty simple, straightforward one. And this time round, rather than a caster, we've got a shackler. Now, Heart of the Wild resets on every floor. Unfortunately, my trinket and Provoke the Spirits does not, so this mob is going to stay alive a fair bit longer. In terms of talent choice, there's definitely improvements. I do think that the double rejuvenation on yourself is good and Cenarian Ward is good. However, I am certainly leaning more towards Tiger Dash rather than Wild Charge. I'm pretty sure I never use Wild Charge at all. And Dash has got a 2-minute cooldown, so it does not reset between floors. However, Tiger Dash at 45-second cooldown, if you can use it on cooldown, which you will generally be able to do, its movement is very important in Torghast speedrunning. It would be one to go for. There we have the choice of damage reduction or DPS, and as a healer you've already got a fair bit of damage reduction, so healing is pretty important. So healing is pretty important. I should say so DPS is pretty important, especially the full moon. This is something that not everyone does, but I think especially as a healer, you with some very powerful options, I decided to buy it. It takes a bit of time, but we're rewarded with Draft of the Calm there, which is one of the best ones, as we are offered one of the best ones here. Now, there's a bit of a bug there that seems to not pick it up straight away, but this is 50% extra damage if we have 3 or more dots on the target, and we will have 3 or more dots on the target. So here I have to take it a bit slow before I can move along, but now we can start making use of stuff like Stampeding Roar, Dark Flight as a Walken, and Dash, which would be Tiger's Dash. This is something that I was unsure about looking back at it. I could have rooted the Death Speaker. Whether he'd aggroed or not, I'd be unsure, but even if he was rooted, I could still probably have just gone to the last boss of the wing and just chilled him there and then just left and not fought this guy. So this guy takes a fair bit of time. The penalty is lessened by picking up a power from him, which was not guaranteed by any means. So another reason why Upper Reaches is so good is there's so few stealth detection mobs. That's the only bonus mob that I have to kill during the entire run, and that makes it pretty good. In terms of trinkets, I'm not really running great ones. We have the Macabre dance sheet, which is very good. But since then, I have got a DPS one. What you're really after for Resto DPS is you want relics, trinkets even, that are intellect with a damaging proc. And there we take a nice buff to our Convoke. We probably won't get Convoke on this floor, but the next floor is, and the last boss one, that's the floor that we really need the damage on Convoke on. Other improvements that I will be making in future ones is a different soulbind. I had thought Karain would be better. with having 2 DPS traits as opposed to just the 1 that you get from Nia, because Mastery is not useful to us for DPS. But as it turns out, Nia's Burrs is just that good that you want to keep it. And Nia can also take extra movement speed, which is very good throughout the run. So that's another good improvement. We'll add that to the list of like food, flasks, enchants, and different talent choices. So here I'm probably a bit too worried about my health. It's always hard to know. Getting the right balance. As long as we're maintaining our 3 dots though. As it turns out, health-wise, I didn't really need to put down so much healing there. This was an unfortunate choice of powers. I've had some very good powers throughout the run. This one was not quite so good, because buying the Phantasm one basically just means I spend time at the vendor buying even more, and then spending the time picking it. So it's a shame that there were no like survival ones at all there. And here, like, I'm just unsure on what to go for. So this is, along with killing that extra mob, this is definitely one of the biggest sinks. And again, like, just the orb there, just not providing a good one. A lot of Torghast is going to be RNG, it's going to be on the floors, layouts, it's going to be on the stealth detection mobs, and it's going to be on the powers. Overall, like, the floors were very good on this one, and the first half of the powers were really good. And only one mob to avoid. Only one mob that we had to kill, which is a stealth detection. So the run was definitely lucky, and that's one of the reasons why it ended up being as good as it is. But it's still got a fairly long way to go. I think Resto Druid will struggle to get like below 5. I might be wrong with this, but I think it's just not going to have the DPS options that DPS specs have. And so my aim would definitely be below 6 minutes. If I could ever get below 5, I'd consider that absolutely amazing. But for now, I'm very happy with the 6:52, and I do think that certainly I know enough ways to improve that hopefully when upper reaches come round again, we'll be able to get a sub 6. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.